Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the natural wonders and cultural treasures that make our world truly extraordinary. From the dancing auroras of the Arctic Circle to the neon-lit streets of Asia's most vibrant cities, we're about to discover places where winter transforms into pure magic. These aren't just locations on a map, they're living, breathing celebrations of culture, history, and the human spirit coming together during the most wonderful time of year. We'll walk through centuries-old traditions, taste flavors that define nations, and witness landscapes that will leave you absolutely speechless. What if your perfect Christmas wasn't about staying home this year? What if it was about standing beneath the northern lights in the Arctic, or wandering through a traditional Japanese temple illuminated by thousands of lanterns? What if the best gift you could give yourself was a memory that would last forever? Before we explore these amazing destinations, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss any of our upcoming adventures. Now let's get started. Singapore. Singapore is a city-state, a tiny island nation at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula. With just 280 square miles of land, smaller than New York City, Singapore is one of the world's smallest countries, but also one of its most successful. The island's location at the crossroads of major shipping routes between the Indian and Pacific Oceans made it naturally valuable, a fact the British recognized when they established a trading post here in 1819. The geography is tropical, hot and humid year-round, with sudden intense rainstorms. There are no dramatic mountains or valleys, just a relatively flat island that Singapore has transformed through engineering and vision. About half, the island is urbanized with high-rises and infrastructure, while the other half is carefully preserved nature reserves and parks. Singapore is one of only 3 city-states in the world and has transformed itself from a swampy trading post to a gleaming first-world nation in just 2 generations. If New York is a melting pot, Singapore is a precisely maintained salad bowl. Cultures remain distinct while coexisting harmoniously. The population is about 75% Chinese, 15% Malay, 8% Indian, and 2% other ethnicities, making Singapore one of the world's most multicultural societies. This diversity isn't accidental. It's carefully managed through policies that require ethnic mixing in public housing, multilingual education, and laws prohibiting racial or religious hate speech. The cultural result is fascinating. You can eat authentic Cantonese dim sum for breakfast, South Indian curry for lunch, and Malay satay for dinner, all within walking distance. 4 official languages, English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil, appear on all official signs. Religious freedom is protected fiercely, so Buddhist temples, Hindu shrines, mosques, and churches share neighborhoods peacefully. This multicultural reality shapes Singapore's Christmas uniquely. For the Christian minority, it's a religious celebration. For the majority, it's a secular festival of lights, shopping, and family time. The government has brilliantly branded it as part of Singapore's year-end celebrations, linking Christmas with New Year's, making it inclusive while allowing each group to celebrate in their own way. Singapore's modern history begins with Sir Stamford Raffles, a British colonial administrator who recognized the island's strategic value in 1819. The deep natural harbour and location along trade routes made Singapore the perfect base for British commerce in Asia. Chinese immigrants arrived to work as traders and labourers, Indians came as administrators and workers, and Malays were the original inhabitants. By the early 1900s, Singapore was a prosperous but deeply unequal colony, wealth concentrated among British administrators and Chinese merchants, while others struggled. World War II shattered the illusion of British invincibility when Japan captured Singapore in 1942, occupying it until 1945 in what Winston Churchill called Britain's worst defeat. Independence came awkwardly. Singapore briefly joined Malaysia in 1963 but was expelled in 1965 due to political conflicts. Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's founding prime minister, faced an impossible situation, a tiny island with no natural resources, surrounded by larger neighbours, racked by poverty and ethnic tensions. What he built over the next 3 decades is one of history's most remarkable success stories. Singapore transformed itself through education, attracting foreign investment, zero tolerance for corruption, strict laws, and long-term planning. From third world poverty in the 1960s, Singapore is now one of the world's wealthiest nations per capita, with world-class infrastructure, healthcare, and education. The transformation was so rapid and complete that economists call Singapore, along with Hong Kong, South Korea, and Taiwan, one of the Asian tigers. Singapore's Christmas celebration centers along Orchard Road, a 1.4-mile shopping paradise that becomes an open-air wonderland. But calling it Christmas lights doesn't do it justice. This is engineering and art on a massive scale. Massive LED displays stretch across the street, creating tunnels of light that change colors and patterns. 3-story tall illuminated Christmas trees line the road. Animated light shows are projected onto building facades. What makes Singapore's display unique is the tropical reinterpretation. Instead of snowflakes, you'll see orchids, Singapore's national flower. Instead of winter scenes, you'll see tropical Santa in shorts. The entire concept has been reimagined for a country where Christmas means heat, not cold. Gardens by the Bay, Singapore's stunning waterfront park, hosts Christmas Wonderland, a spectacular event featuring European-style Christmas markets, ice skating indoors, because outdoor ice in Singapore would melt instantly, carnival rides and light shows. The park's famous super trees, vertical gardens rising up to 160 feet, are illuminated with Christmas projections, creating a sci-fi Christmas aesthetic that's pure Singapore. The shopping is legendary. Singapore is already a shopping paradise, but Christmas brings it to another level. Malls like Iron Orchard, Paragon, and Takashimaya create elaborate decorations and host events. The Great Christmas Sale runs for weeks, drawing tourists from across Southeast Asia. Food is central to Singapore's Christmas, as it is to all Singaporean celebrations. You'll find Christmas turkey with Asian sides, log cakes infused with pandan and coconut, and Christmas cookies using local ingredients like pineapple tarts. High-end hotels like Raffles and Marina Bay Sands create elaborate buffets that blend European Christmas traditions with Asian flavors. Singapore proves that Christmas traditions can be completely reimagined without losing their essential meaning. In a tropical, majority non-Christian country, Christmas has become a celebration of light, family, and joy that includes everyone. Singapore's Christmas teaches us that holidays can evolve, that diverse communities can share celebrations without erasing their distinct identities, and that prosperity can be built while maintaining cultural heritage. The city-state demonstrates that successful multiculturalism requires intentional effort, clear rules, and mutual respect, lessons valuable far beyond Christmas celebrations. New York City, USA. New York City sits at the mouth of the Hudson River on the Atlantic coast, comprising 5 boroughs spread across 300 square miles. Manhattan, the heart of it all, is essentially a bedrock island that allowed skyscrapers to reach impossible heights. This geographical foundation literally shaped modern architecture and created the vertical cityscape that defines the American urban experience. The city's position as a natural harbor made it a gateway for millions of immigrants, which brings us to why New York's Christmas is unlike anywhere else. It's actually dozens of Christmases happening simultaneously, each neighborhood celebrating with its own cultural flavor. New York's culture is its diversity. Over 800 languages are spoken here, making it the most linguistically diverse city on Earth. This diversity explodes during Christmas. In Little Italy, the Feast of the Seven Fishes on Christmas Eve has been celebrated since Italian immigrants arrived in the 1880s. In Chinatown, Christmas markets blend with preparations for the coming Lunar New Year. In Queens, the most ethnically diverse borough on the planet, you can experience Polish Wigilia, Greek Christopsomo bread, and Colombian novenas, all within a few subway stops. The city's Jewish heritage adds another layer. The famous Hanukkah celebration in Brooklyn's ultra-Orthodox neighborhoods happens alongside Christmas, and the lighting of the Grand Army Plaza menorah rivals Rockefeller Center for spectacle. This cultural mixing created something uniquely American, the commercialized, spectacular, everyone's invited version of Christmas that the world now recognizes. Department store windows, Santa Claus parades, and the tradition of elaborate public decorations, all of these were essentially invented or perfected in New York. New York's history begins with the Dutch colony of New Amsterdam in 1624, established right at the southern tip of Manhattan. The Dutch brought their Sinterklaas traditions, which eventually evolved into the American Santa Claus. When the British took over in 1664, renaming it New York, the city was already a trading hub connecting Europe, Africa, and the Americas. The 1800s brought waves of immigration, Irish fleeing famine, Germans seeking opportunity, Italians escaping poverty, and Jews fleeing persecution. Each group brought their Christmas and winter traditions, creating the rich tapestry we see today. By the early 1900s, New York was America's largest city and its cultural trendsetter. Start at Rockefeller Center, where the Christmas tree, typically a Norway spruce over 75 feet tall, is adorned with 50,000 LED lights and topped with a 900-pound Swarovski crystal star. The ice rink below becomes a winter wonderland where you can skate beneath the tree while tourists from every nation watch from above. The tree lighting ceremony in late November is broadcast worldwide. It's not just New York's Christmas kickoff, it's America's. Walk through Central Park after a fresh snowfall, and you'll understand why Frank Sinatra sang about this city. The park becomes a courier, and Ives' print come to life. Horse-drawn carriages, snow-covered bridges, and the warm glow of apartment windows surrounding this 843-acre oasis. New York City at Christmas is where commercial spectacle and genuine warmth collide in the most American way possible. This is Christmas as performance art, yet somehow it remains deeply personal. The immigrant family maintaining old country traditions, the street vendor making enough to send money home, the tourist finally seeing the tree they've watched on TV for decades. New York proves that Christmas can be both a massive commercial enterprise and an intimate human experience. The city's history as America's gateway means every Christmas tradition from around the world exists here simultaneously, creating something entirely new. If you want to understand how diverse cultures can maintain their identity while creating something shared, come to New York in December. Woodstock, Vermont. Nestled in the heart of Vermont's Green Mountains, Woodstock sits along the Ottauquechee River in the Upper Valley region of east-central Vermont. The village is surrounded by rolling hills that were shaped by glaciers during the last ice age, creating the gentle, rounded peaks that make Vermont distinct from the jagged Rockies or dramatic Alps. The landscape here is intimate, mountains you can climb in an afternoon, valleys that feel like nature's embrace, forests so dense they inspired early settlers to name this the Green Mountains State. The town itself is built around an oval village green, with 4 church steeples rising above colonial-era buildings. 3 covered bridges cross the river, covered not for romance, as tourists often think, but to protect the wooden structure from Vermont's harsh winters. The geographical isolation of Vermont, mountainous terrain, made it difficult to reach until recently, has preserved its character in ways that feel almost miraculous in modern America. Vermont's culture is defined by 2 seemingly contradictory traits: fierce independence and deep community bonds. This is a state that was an independent republic from 1777 to 1791, longer than Texas, and Vermonters have never quite gotten over it. The culture values self-reliance, environmental stewardship, and what locals call making do, the Yankee ingenuity that comes from long winters and limited resources. Woodstock embodies this perfectly. It's a town where neighbors still help each other with firewood, where the town meeting, direct democracy at its purest, makes important decisions, and where newcomers aren't truly considered locals until their family has been here for at least 3 generations. Yet this same community welcomes millions of visitors annually with genuine warmth, understanding that tourism sustains their way of life without defining it. Woodstock was chartered in 1761, part of the wave of settlement following the French and Indian War. Early settlers found land perfect for dairy farming, and Vermont became America's dairy capital by the 1800s. The Marsh-Billings Rockefeller National Historical Park in Woodstock preserves the history of conservation in America. This was where Frederick Billings created one of the first managed forests, and later where the Rockefeller family continued pioneering conservation efforts. The railroad arrived in 1875, connecting Woodstock to Boston and New York. Wealthy families discovered this charming village and built summer estates, bringing money that helped preserve rather than overdevelop the town. By the early 1900s, Woodstock was already known as one of America's prettiest villages, a reputation carefully maintained through strict zoning and a community commitment to preservation. Christmas in Woodstock is everything you've imagined New England to be, with none of the disappointment that sometimes comes when reality meets expectation. The season begins the weekend after Thanksgiving with Wassail Weekend, a celebration that feels like stepping into the 19th century. Horse-drawn wagon rides take families through the village, while carolers in Victorian dress perform on the green. The wassail itself, a warm spiced cider punch, is served at shops and restaurants, reviving an English tradition that dates back centuries. The village decorates with restraint and elegance. No inflatable Santas or garish light displays here. White lights outline colonial buildings, wreaths with simple red bows hang on doors, and candles glow in windows. The covered bridges are adorned with evergreen garlands, and the 4 church steeples are lit against the night sky. The Billings Farm and Museum transforms into a living history Christmas, showing how 19th century Vermonters celebrated the season. Sheep in the barn wear festive wreaths, draft horses give wagon rides, and interpreters in period dress demonstrate traditional crafts. The farm's Jersey cows, Vermont produces some of the world's finest dairy, provide milk for homemade ice cream served even in winter, because Vermonters are hardy that way. Woodstock represents what America romanticizes about its past: small-town community, connection to the land, and celebrations rooted in tradition rather than commercialism. This isn't a theme park or a reconstruction. It's a living community that has chosen preservation over development, quality over quantity, tradition over trend. The Christmas experience here teaches us that sometimes the most meaningful celebrations are the quietest, that luxury isn't about expense, but about authenticity, and that the past doesn't have to be lost to progress. Woodstock's lesson is simple: slow down, appreciate craftsmanship, connect with nature, and remember that community matters more than convenience. Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo sits on the Kanto Plain on the Pacific coast of Honshu, Japan's main island. The metropolis sprawls across 845 square miles and houses 14 million people, 37 million if you count the Greater Tokyo area, making it the world's largest metropolitan economy. The city is built on river deltas and reclaimed land, with the bay to the east and mountains to the west. The geography has shaped Tokyo's development. Land is precious, so the city builds up and down, creating the famous vertical cityscape of skyscrapers and underground shopping complexes. Tokyo sits at the junction of several tectonic plates, making it one of the most earthquake-prone cities on Earth. This geological reality has shaped Japanese culture profoundly. Building techniques emphasize flexibility over rigidity, and there's a cultural acceptance of impermanence, the concept that nothing lasts forever. Japanese culture rests on principles that can seem contradictory to outsiders. Intense respect for tradition alongside radical innovation, valuing group harmony while maintaining deep individuality and embracing foreign influences while remaining distinctly Japanese. Tokyo embodies all of these tensions. The concept of harmony influences everything. In Tokyo's crowded trains, millions of people maintain near silence, demonstrating a collective commitment to shared space. Yet this same culture produces the sensory explosion of neighborhoods like Shibuya and Shinjuku, where neon, noise, and crowds create deliberate excitement. Tokyo's Christmas celebration shows this cultural flexibility perfectly. With no religious significance for most Japanese, Christmas became an imported celebration focused on its aesthetic and romantic elements. It's now one of the most important dates for couples. Christmas Eve dinner at a nice restaurant is Japan's equivalent of Valentine's Day. The Japanese have made Christmas their own, incorporating it into their culture without abandoning their existing traditions. Originally called Edo, it became Japan's political capital in 1603 when Tokugawa Ieyasu established his shogunate there. For 250 years, Japan isolated itself from the world, and Edo grew into one of the world's largest cities, reaching 1 million inhabitants by 1720. In 1868, the Meiji Restoration ended the shogunate. The emperor moved from Kyoto to Edo, renamed Tokyo, meaning Eastern Capital, and Japan began rapid modernization. Tokyo rebuilt itself as a modern city, adopting Western architecture and technology while maintaining Japanese aesthetics. Then came disasters. The 1923 Great Kanto earthquake killed over 100,000 people and destroyed much of the city. Tokyo rebuilt. World War II bombing raids destroyed it again. By 1945, much of Tokyo was rubble. Tokyo rebuilt again, this time becoming an economic powerhouse that dominated the global economy by the 1980s. This history of constant rebuilding created a city unafraid of change, where the old and new coexist without conflict. A 1,000-year-old shrine sits next to a skyscraper, and no one finds this unusual. Christmas in Tokyo is a visual spectacular that has to be seen to be believed. The celebration begins in November and extends through Christmas Day, not beyond, as December 26th is just another workday, and New Year's is Japan's important family holiday. The illuminations are Tokyo's signature Christmas feature. Neighborhoods compete to create the most stunning light displays. Roppongi Hills creates a 400-meter tunnel of blue LEDs that makes you feel like you're walking through a river of light. Shibuya's shopping district, where the world's busiest pedestrian crossing becomes even more chaotic, is transformed by countless lights and projections on buildings. Marunouchi, the business district, strings millions of champagne-colored lights along its streets, creating one of the world's most elegant urban illuminations. Christmas cakes are a major tradition, and here's where Tokyo's interpretation gets interesting. Japanese Christmas cakes are almost always strawberry shortcakes, white sponge cake with fresh strawberries and whipped cream. The tradition supposedly started when Western-style bakeries wanted to promote cakes, and strawberry shortcake became synonymous with Christmas luxury. Families order their Christmas cakes months in advance from prestigious bakeries, and being unable to reserve one is a minor social embarrassment. For a more traditional experience, some temples and shrines host Christmas events that blend Christian and Buddhist elements in ways that would seem strange elsewhere, but feel perfectly natural in Japan's syncretic religious culture. Zojoji Temple in front of Tokyo Tower creates a stunning contrast, an ancient Buddhist temple lit up for Christmas with Tokyo's version of the Eiffel Tower glowing red in the background. Tokyo's Christmas demonstrates something profound about cultural exchange and adaptation. The Japanese took a foreign religious holiday, extracted its aesthetic and emotional elements, and created something entirely new that serves their culture's needs: romance, beauty, family celebration, and escape from ordinary life. Tokyo teaches us that traditions don't have to be ancient to be meaningful, that commercialization doesn't necessarily corrupt celebration if approached with creativity and joy, and that cultural borrowing can be respectful and transformative. The city's Christmas shows how a modern, secular society can create meaningful rituals that bring people together, proving that the human need for celebration transcends any single religious tradition. Tromsø, Norway. Tromsø, Norway, often called the gateway to the Arctic, sits on an island surrounded by fjords, mountains, and some of the most pristine wilderness you'll ever encounter. This city of 77,000 souls has mastered the art of not just surviving but thriving in the polar night, when the sun doesn't rise above the horizon from late November through mid-January. Tromsø sprawls across the island of Tromsø, connected to the mainland by elegant bridges that seem to float above icy waters. Jagged peaks rise sharply from the sea, creating a natural amphitheater where the aurora borealis performs nightly. The Gulf Stream keeps the harbor ice-free year-round, making this one of the world's northernmost ice-free ports, a fact that shaped its entire destiny. Tromsø's culture is deeply rooted in its Sami heritage, the indigenous people who have called the Arctic home for over 10,000 years. The Sami way of life, centered around reindeer herding, fishing, and an intimate understanding of Arctic survival, still influences the city today. You'll hear joik, traditional Sami folk songs, echoing through cultural centers, and see the iconic Lavu tents that have sheltered Arctic travelers for millennia. For centuries, This was where fishermen, trappers, and traders gathered during the midnight sun to exchange goods before winter's darkness descended. By the 1800s, Tromsø had become the launching point for Arctic expeditions. Explorers like Roald Amundsen used this as their last stop before venturing into the unknown ice. During World War II, Tromsø gained tragic fame when the German battleship Tirpitz was sunk just offshore, marking one of the war's final naval battles. Today, the Arctic Cathedral, with its stunning triangular architecture resembling ice formations, stands as a symbol of the city's rebirth and resilience. Christmas in Tromsø is otherworldly. The polar night creates a perpetual twilight that bathes everything in shades of blue and purple, interrupted only by twinkling city lights and the ethereal green curtains of the northern lights. The Christmas market in Stortorget Square becomes a beacon of warmth, with wooden stalls selling reindeer sausages, warm glögg, spiced wine, and handcrafted Sami handicrafts. The Christmas festival here blends Norwegian traditions with Sami customs. You might join locals for a lutefisk dinner, a traditional fish dish that's definitely an acquired taste, or venture out on a reindeer sledding tour under the aurora. Many families attend midnight mass at the Arctic Cathedral, where the massive stained glass window depicts the northern lights themselves, creating a sacred connection between nature and spirituality. Dog sledding becomes a Christmas tradition here, with husky farms offering multi-day expeditions into the surrounding wilderness. Imagine standing on the runners of a sled, guided only by moonlight and aurora, the only sounds being the rhythmic panting of dogs and the whisper of runners on snow. That's Christmas in Tromsø, raw, real, and absolutely magical. Tromsø offers something most Christmas destinations can't: genuine Arctic wilderness combined with sophisticated urban culture. This is where you'll experience the polar night not as something to endure, but as nature's greatest stage for celestial performances. The blend of ancient Sami traditions with modern Norwegian culture creates a Christmas atmosphere that's both primal and refined. Whether you're chasing the northern lights, exploring fjords by snowmobile, or simply warming up in a cozy cafe with the world's best coffee, Tromsø proves that the darkest time of year can also be the most illuminated, literally and spiritually. Five incredible destinations that prove Christmas is truly a global phenomenon, celebrated in as many ways as there are cultures on this planet. From the aurora-lit skis of Arctic Norway to the neon wonderland of Tokyo, from New England's picture-perfect villages to Singapore's tropical celebration, we've journeyed across continents, climates, and cultures to discover that the spirit of Christmas transcends geography, religion, and tradition. Each destination teaches us something valuable. Tromsø reminds us that darkness isn't something to fear, but an opportunity to appreciate light. New York shows us that diverse communities can create shared traditions while maintaining their unique identities. Woodstock teaches us that sometimes the most meaningful experiences come from slowing down and appreciating simplicity. Tokyo demonstrates that cultural borrowing, done with creativity and respect, can create something entirely new and beautiful. And Singapore proves that even without a single snowflake, Christmas can be magical if you focus on what truly matters, bringing people together. So here's my question for you. Which of these 5 destinations speaks to your soul? Are you the adventurer who wants to chase the northern lights across Arctic wilderness? The culture enthusiast drawn to New York's melting pot of traditions? The romantic who dreams of sleigh rides through New England snow? The curious traveler ready to experience Christmas reimagined in Tokyo? Or the beach lover who wants to celebrate in tropical heat? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'd love to know where you're dreaming of going. If you enjoyed this journey around the world, show some love by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and ringing the notification bell so you never miss.